So you need an online push. Gully TV Media, East Coast, West Coast, down south, uptown, downtown, Switzerland, the hottest in the business. Underground MCs. Need a push? Gully TV. Published authors. You need a push? Gully TV. Your daily online source of hip-hop, sports, and fashion. The email is below. GullyTVBoss@gmail. Hit me up. I'll be there.
You ready, Nick? Let's get him.
If you tune in to me, you're watching Gully TV. I have a very special guest here. This is a rare sighting. When I started my career, there was certain media personalities that was at the very, very top of urban media, hip-hop, sports, fashion, art, everything that I do right now. There was a specific group of people who dominated this position, in my opinion. And amongst those were people like Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, Angie Martinez, and this lovely lady is standing before my camera right now. Would you please introduce yourself?
Gossip Viv. Ain't nobody gonna remember me.
You
Ain't nobody
don't
gonna
think
remember
so?
me. Absolutely not.
Of course they will. How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm working, man. One of my responsibilities at Gully TV is try to produce the most original content as possible. And the pandemic led to a lot of people launching podcasts from all sorts of angles. So a little bit of everybody is doing what I do now and what you used to do.
What I used to do that everybody complained about when I was doing it, and now everybody in their mother's doing it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is that for real?
Oh yeah.
People people
in fact,
critiqued you?
Yeah. Let's I'm gonna put it out there.
Go ahead.
My good boy Joe Button. I've interviewed him before in the past, and I invited him up to This Is 50 to do an interview, and it was like, I don't want to do an interview. I don't want to do an interview. And now look at him. He has a podcast, and what does he do?
Interview people.
There you go.
Right. So at the time, did you feel like people didn't understand or didn't appreciate that what you did?
Mm-hmm.
I have to add.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that your name, Gossip Viv, made people like brace themselves?
Yeah.
For real?
Mm-hmm. Waka Flocka wouldn't interview with me because of my name.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
Was that something that happened often? People was kind of like shook about, what your interviews would entail because your name was Gossip Viv?
I mean, yeah, sometimes, but not to say that these people are not real, but real people don't care.
Right.
I'm going to ask what I ask. If you want to answer the question, you answer the question. If not, you don't.
Right. Why did you decide to go by such a controversial moniker?
I didn't. Angela Yee gave me that name.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I used to go by the NYC Gossip Girl.
New York City Gossip Girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went by that. And she was like, hell no, that's too long. Just Gossip Viv. And I was like, all right, that's cool. And I just ran with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how long did it take before it started to stick? Because you went on to establish a website and a blog that you were writing and a bunch of other shit, right?
My website was hiphopgossipsite.com, but I used to write for other websites as well, not just mine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some history on some of the people that you wrote for.
Talk That Ish with Tiana Smalls, Urban, I forgot what the name, it was so long ago and I'm of a certain age that my memory's long. Urban something, and then I did a lot of radio.
Okay.
Urban Latino radio with Pretty Lou from the Terror Squad.
Right.
I worked with Steph Lover at DTF Radio. My cousin Star and Buck Wow. I've been on The Breakfast Club.
That's your cousin?
Yeah, he's my cousin.
That's your cousin?
Real life cousin.
For real?
Real life cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this journalism, that's what people call it now. I believe when you was doing it, probably was called maybe like broadcasting or something like that, or blogging with a B.
Yeah, it was blogging. It was called, back in the day, it was called blogging.
With a B. Now they call it vlogging with a V.
Well, vlogging is video.
Okay.
Blogger, I used to have video because I recorded everything that I did, but I used to write on it. I went to school for writing.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go to school at?
I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about in high school. That's what I used to. Yeah, I used to write. Yeah, I wasn't made for college.
All right, that was actually my first skill set. Before I got behind these cameras, I started out as a writer myself. So, yeah, shout out to you. Queens, New York, Queens native.
Southside.
She said Southside.
That's right.
Tell me what Southside.
Southside, we outside.
Yeah, they want to know since you added the Southside. So it's a story now.
Why?
Because the history.
Because of 50?
The history attached to the Southside, not just him, but the Supreme team and a bunch of other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we can go ghetto Quran with this interview now since you're from the Southside.
Go ahead.
Tell me what it was like growing up on the South Side of Queens.
For me, my experience, it was a little different because I'm mixed. Mm-hmm. So I was never really accepted in any group. For me, that's been my experience. So I really hung out with my cousins.
Why you feel you wasn't accepted? It's been my experience that black people are often accepting of people who are cool or thorough. You strike me as being cool and thorough. So why you felt that you weren't accepted?
Because I wasn't the Spanish girl, and I wasn't all the way the black girl.
Right.
So
you're not Spanish?
I'm mixed. I'm both.
Okay.
I'm both.
Right.
So to me, being with my family and my cousins, it was comfortable because they knew who I was, and I didn't have to. You know, it was. Let me just say this: I felt like I wasn't accepted. Like I couldn't chill with the Spanish girls because they was talking Spanish, and I didn't really know.
Right.
I was like, what the hell? And I ain't, back then, I know more now. You can't talk about me, but back then I was like, are they talking about me?
Right.
And then it was like, my black homegirls, it was like, I was considered soft and a punk because, my complexion. Did
you go to one of those like famous high schools in Queens, like Andrew Jackson or some shit like that?
No, I didn't go to Andrew Jackson. I went to Ida B. Wells. It was a school for pregnant girls.
Okay.
I initially went to Richmond Hill High School, and then I got pregnant.
Yeah.
And I went to Ida B. Wells on Jamaica Avenue.
Did you ever go to basketball games at Andrew Jackson?
No.
Okay. I know that and
of course everybody's gonna call
Andrew
me
Jackson
when I'm doing anything.
Produced a lot of big time basketball players, namely David Edwards. That's where I was going with it. So of course I'm definitely big on basketball, so I had to throw a little bit of basketball in there. Anyway, you said Angela Yee gave you your name. Right. She shortened it and it stuck. Okay. So was that your introduction into the field that you were going in? No. You was putting in work before she gave you the name? Yeah. Okay. Way before. All right. I didn't do the show with Ange until 2012. I was friends with Ange way before that. But in real life, people call you your name. They don't call you your, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you're Gully. Right. But when you're with your people, you're something else. Right. So, she didn't give me that name until, I'm sorry. Right. Until we did the show. I'm sorry, what was the question? You straight. I got like 3 phone calls back to back and I knew I would get them. I'm sorry. You're important. When I took notice of who you were was during the This Is 50 era. This was like right after the DVDs kind of went away and everybody came to the online realm. And 2 of the platforms that clearly dominated hip-hop was World Star, of course, and ThisIs50.com. How did you become a part of the ThisIs50.com staff as a personality? Let me just say, my history is way before This Is 50. I helped someone like Craze Billings create All Access DVD magazine. Okay. So I was an integral part of the creation of that. All right. And if you look back at those DVDs, you'll see like this little, like a little flyer inside of the DVD cover, and it'll say talent coordinator or something to that effect. And then my name is on there. So that was my history. And then from there, I just built relationships with the artists
more so their girlfriends and, you know, whoever they were with. So I knew a lot of the inside scoop. I was at a lot of places where the average person back then didn't have access to. And so I would write a lot of what I seen, what I saw, what I heard, and people gravitated to that. And then it led to me writing for websites. Then I got my own website, and then I did radio. And then from there, Mona Scott Young seen me, put me on the Gossip Game on VH1, and then for This Is 50, they just called me and was like, "Yo, we want you. We want you to be a part of what we got going on." I didn't have to do no interview. I heard there was chicks doing interviews, and a lot of chicks in the industry hated me because I ain't had to do no interview. Nelson called me and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna put you, Heineken, and THRU together. Let's make it happen." I said yes, and that's what happened.
So when you first got there, you wasn't doing interviews. What exactly was you doing?
What do you mean?
When you got to This Is 50?
I was doing interviews for my website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was doing that still, but This Is 50 was just an added thing that I was doing.
When you say that, was this like an umbrella situation, whereas you could still be New York City Gossip Girl, Gossip Viv, or whatever, and upload your content to This Is 50? Was that like an indie situation? Where
No, I took the content because what I did at This Is 50, Jeremy and them would film, but I would take that and put it on my website.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
50 is not a hater. That's my guy.
What type of person is he? Since we, because that was going to be one of my next questions. What was it like working?
50 is a great. He's a great mentor. He's a great person. He's one of the realest dudes I know, and he's never. I know his persona with other men is rah rah, but I didn't experience that from him. He is a cool dude. He's a mentor. Gave me great advice. And I have nothing bad to say about 50, ever.
During the course of your tenure at This Is 50, whenever something was going on with 50 Cent or G Unit, would y'all like feel that shit at the office?
We would feel it because people either did not want us at the events or they wouldn't interview with us.
For real?
Mm-hmm. Or I would book interviews. See, that's the only thing 50 back then had issues with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I would book people and not know that there was a beef, and then I would get the call like, "Yo, they can't come up here." And Graf was one of them. My son was another one. They didn't want them up at This Is 50. They were not allowed.
Was this, the My Son thing, was this around the time of the Bang Bang Boogie situation?
I'm not familiar with that.
They had a group. It was almost like they was kind of like building a super group. It was My Son, Cuban Link, Lord Tariq.
No, I'm not aware of that, but I do remember the reason why they did not want my son up there, because he was in a video with The Game. And at that point in time, 50 and The Game were not getting along.
Yeah.
And so I guess by my son being in whatever video it was like, "We don't want you up here."
Got it. All right. I think he might have had a situation at Black Wall Street briefly, My Son. But okay, so that you would just get a call, yo.
I would get a call, literally,
right,
and be like, call them up and tell them they're not allowed up here.
How did you go about securing talent, or how did you decide exactly who you wanted to interview at the time? What was your itinerary?
I never had an itinerary. I never had that. Because of all the relationships that I've built, and I've been in hip hop since the late 90s, early, so I've been in this industry for a long time. So my relationships are really good with people. So really, it would just be like whoever I felt like I wanted up to come up. It would literally just me call them and be like, "Yo, come up."
Right.
And they would.
Got it. Your website. What exactly did it consist of? Was it just gossip? Tell me what all a person would encounter at Gossip. It was gossipviv.com, or
no, it was hiphopgossipsite.com.
hiphopgossipsite.com.
Later on down the line, I did create a website called gossipviv.com, but I ain't really paying too much attention to it, and I stopped.
All right. So it was just your written articles there, or
Written articles, my videos, music, brand new artists, fashion, all kind of stuff. But the main gist of it was rumors and gossip.
got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It sounds so messy.
I don't like that.
It sounds so,
I don't like what you're saying.
It sounds so messy. It sounds like almost like a female Charlemagne.
Charlemagne.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Charlemagne is. You think he's messy?
He be in some shit. Yeah, didn't Birdman?
Charlemagne is my guy.
Didn't Birdman have to come up there and confront him and shit like that?
Did Birdman really confront him?
He said them niggas better put some respect on his name.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said, but I don't think it was an issue where he confronted them, because to confront someone means to voice your opinion on what took place, and he didn't do that.
Right.
He didn't want to speak to them. So
Right.
he didn't confront them. He sat there like a big baby,
Yeah.
and his name is Baby,
Yeah.
and he said put some respect on his name, and then left. What was the resolve?
I thought he got his point across.
He did get his point across, but what was the resolve? You gave them content.
A viral moment.
You gave all of them a viral moment that
Yeah.
no one will ever forget, because look, you're asking me about it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I have to.
So they got their moment. They got what they wanted, whether he said what he said or not.
What was it like working with Charlemagne? I just seen you on a clip.
Charlemagne.
I think maybe a break. Did you work with the Breakfast Club?
You know what? I've been on the Breakfast Club so many times, people probably thought I worked. No.
Yeah.
I've been on the Breakfast Club. I'm like MV, Charlemagne, Ange. Ange is my girl.
Yeah.
She's a good friend of mine. And not to say that MV and Charlemagne ain't. They good people.
So what would you be like, a guest commentator there? Just say, yo, we need you to come out today. Or somebody's out right now. Like, explain.
The first time I went up there was because I was on the VH1 show. So we were going to talk about the episode that had just passed. Actually, I went on there twice to talk about episodes that I was on. Then I went up there to promote my book. Then I went up there to bring LeVar Ball and his sons up there. And then I went up there to bring Duchess when she was having issues at Black Ink, because I did an interview with Sky's son. I'm the reason why Sky's son was even part of Black Ink.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about LeVar Ball? He's in the new online right now. His son's name, they cooking. They on fire right now. I don't know if you know his son Jello.
One of them is out here. Oh, I don't know about them rapping.
LaMelo plays for the Hornets.
Yeah, because I see him all the time.
For real?
Mm-hmm. He be around here.
Okay. His other son, Jello, the one that did make it in basketball, he's rapping right now. And the song is doing really, really well. And his other son, Lonzo, was back playing for the Bulls again. So the father's prediction of his sons being successful, it seemed to have pan out. But what was your impression of LeVar Ball when you had them up at the Breakfast Club?
They were really respectful. Actually, I was doing a favor for Troy, because Troy Reed, I know you know Troy.
That's my man.
Yeah, so Troy had sneaker porn.
Right.
Sneaker
the store
porn.
up there in Harlem, right? Okay.
And he had LeVar Ball and his sons, and he called THRU. He was like, yo, I have them here. What can I do with them? Because they're here, and I want to, get them some media coverage.
Right.
So, Ange is my girl. So, of course, everybody called me like, yo, we need them on the Breakfast Club. So I made it happen.
When you pursue someone of that magnitude, you just said, I made it happen. How do you go about it? Twitter, email?
Ange?
You. When you're trying to solicit someone, like you said, you came up there with LeVar Ball.
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to contact these people, these ain't like regular people. How do you conventionally go about making contact with someone?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the question. Say it a different way.
All right. You said that you brought the Ball brothers.
Right, because THRU called me.
Okay.
To say Troy got LeVar Ball and
Okay.
his sons here, can you, make it happen at the Breakfast Club? And I did it.
Okay, so when you make it happen.
All I had to do was call Ange. I literally picked up my phone.
Yeah.
I said, Ange, I got LeVar Ball and his sons here.
Yeah.
Can we do something? She said, yes.
All right.
That's as simple as that.
So you go beyond a media personality. You kind of like a dot connector. I'm gathering that.
I'm very much a dot connector. I've done a lot of favors for people.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay. Whatever it is that you do, apparently you was doing it well because you landed a show on VH1, The Gossip Game.
Right.
How did that come into fruition?
So my homeboy Tone Boots, he had an idea for a reality show that he was putting together for women in media, in hip hop media, and how they go about their personal life and how do they go about handling themselves in media in a male-dominated field.
Right.
They added Mona Scott Young as an executive producer. At the time, it was Angela Yee, Kim Osorio, Jazz Fly, God rest the dead, Kay Fox, who was on Hot 97 at the time, and Miss Drama. Now, Sharon Carpenter. Sharon Carpenter's my girl, I love her. And then it was a seventh person. And I think originally they wanted Nicole Bitchie. Because back then she was popping, and she's actually.
I remember that name. Back
She
then.
inspired me to write,
Right.
like get my own stuff and go with it. And she's a Virgo too, and I loved her. So I think she didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But she was supposed to be that seventh person, and she didn't want to be a part of it. And my homegirl Sabrina, she was like, "Yo, I think you would be great." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I think you need to go up there and have an interview with them." I said, "Okay." And one of my best friends, Ness, she was there. I went to Manhattan. They loved me. They absolutely loved me. And it was to the point that when I had my meeting with Mona, she was like, "Yo, I always pick the talent. I was never told, here's the talent. We just need you to meet her."
Yeah.
So she was like shocked about that.
Was this show scripted?
No.
I watched a clip of it before we did this interview. I actually watched it last night.
What clip did you watch?
You was wilding out. The
That's the old Viv.
the person that's in front of my camera right now.
That's the old
You're
Viv.
very gentle and elegant. You dress all fancy, but you was like you wanted to box on that.
Oh, I was gonna box. It wasn't.
So
I wasn't.
how what type of directorial skill does it take for them to be able to trigger all of that on camera?
Okay, so let me clarify what they mean when people say things are scripted. In real life, are you gonna hang out with people that you don't like? No. Right? So what production does is they get all these executive producers who you think are befriending you, and you're really having a friendship with someone, like a homegirl or a homeboy.
Right.
And what they're doing is they're not really being your friend, they're gathering information. And so they're writing down things that you tell them on a regular phone call. They're like, "Hey, how you doing? What you doing today? What do you got in the works?" You tell them, they write that shit down, unbeknownst to you.
Yeah.
And so in my real life, I'm never hanging with nobody I don't like. Never.
Yeah.
But for reality TV, they put you in these positions. They'll send you an email and they'll say, "Hey, come dressed like you're going to the club or you're going out with your homegirls." And this is where, back then, now I heard it's much different, but back then they said, "Meet us at this address, this is the time." And they would never tell you who you're filming with. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of up in the air. So sometimes by surprise, you get there and
It's somebody that you don't like.
you don't like.
Are you fucking serious?
No, I'm very serious.
That take balls to do some shit like that.
Welcome to Mona Scott Young world. But I became very, very much in tune with that. I'm very observant. I don't say much.
Yeah.
So what I started to do after one or two times of that, because we filmed for I'll say 6 months to a year before it was put out.
Right.
We started filming in 2012. Show didn't come out to 2013.
Right.
what I started doing, anytime I got an email, I was like, I bet. I would call whoever I was cool with, which was Ange, Kim, Sharon, sometimes Jazz. Like, yo, y'all filming today? And where? They're like, nah. Which was against the rules that Mona, because Mona didn't want us talking to each other. I'm like, she's my homegirl. I talk to her anyway, so I'm going to call her.
Yeah.
So what I started doing was I would get to set 2 hours before I was supposed to be there. And I would circle the block. No, I'm serious.
Right.
I would circle the block, and if I saw security, because security vans would be there.
Yeah.
If I saw security, I was calling my people. Like, yo, I got to film. This is the address. I need y'all to meet me here. Because if stuff go down. And Mona used to get really mad with me because by the time we finished wrapping up, I would have like 7 cars at the set.
Yeah.
And she like, we can't have this. It's dangerous. I'm like, well, I don't know what you're putting me in.
Yeah.
So if you want reality, this is my reality.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to talk like this, but stuff gets handled.
So you would show up early to see if you spotted any security.
That's right.
And that would be
My cue.
An indication that it's probably going to be some shit if they had security there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What type of, I only seen one clip. What type of situations did they put you in? Like, would you would walk into a room and see somebody that you don't fuck with?
I would walk into a room, see people that I don't mess with. But listen, I feel like I always carry myself with respect. I could be in a room with people I don't like and not have to say nothing to them.
Yeah.
But what happens is, while filming, production might tell somebody, say something to him, say something to her, anything. And that'll get, you already, as a human being in feelings, you already feel a way when you see somebody you don't like.
Yeah.
You're already on edge. You're already thinking, and in your mind, you're already on that type of time where they say one wrong thing is going to go down. And that's what it would be.
That's crazy as hell.
So it's like a setup almost.
Right.
Whatever your reaction is the reality.
Right.
But it's never scripted.
Right.
But they will tell people, say something.
So
Don't stay quiet.
this
Talk
came
about
out
this.
in 2013.
In 2013.
Do you think y'all was kind of like the early version of this show called Baddies now?
No. Baddies is pretty girls fighting. We ain't fight. I know it seemed like that. Don't make me seem like the fighter. We were really doing business. Like, we were really handling business, getting the stories, getting exclusives. We had Russell Simmons on our show. We had Funk Master Flex on our show.
Each one of the personalities that was on the Gossip Game was all popping. Y'all was professionally
We were all popping. Yeah,
Right.
all of us. Even if I didn't like them, they were popping.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think about what we know as reality TV now? Some of the stuff that you see now.
Now I feel like it's just so extra. Now I hear they don't even tell you where you're gonna film.
Yeah.
They don't even do that. And I hear now they just send the car to your place, and you just get in the car and go. I don't know. I think a lot of people have sold their soul, and that's probably one of the reasons why I did not continue. Because there's no amount of money you could give to me for me to do certain things.
Yeah.
It's just not in me. It's not who I am. But I see a lot of these women, like, they even go as far as having babies with people they don't like. They don't even like them. I'm not going to do that.
So I noticed where I read in your bio that you eventually announced on your personal blog that there wouldn't be no second season. Why wasn't it no second season of the Gossip Game?
Me and Kim was just talking about this yesterday. So let me just say, it was never the numbers. Our numbers were great. Our show came on right after Love and Hip Hop Atlanta went. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta first came on. So their viewership rolled right over to ours. So we had the numbers. Mona did not want to continue it. We could have continued. We didn't even have a reunion. Most shows have a reunion, and we didn't have none of that. We were a bunch of powerful ladies, and you couldn't control us. Like, a lot of, how can I say it? Because I don't want to make nobody feel angry. But a lot of these reality shows now, these are a bunch of nobodies.
I get
that become somebody's
Yeah.
because of you're seeing them on TV and they acting up. But we were somebody's before that camera got on.
Yeah.
And so you can tell us. You could go but so far. You could irk our nerves. You could get us to react a certain way. But you can tell us what to do. We would do what we want. I remember there were times Ange wouldn't even show up to set because she was like, I gotta do something for the radio. Yeah, it was just like that.
Did people assume that to be your show because it
Mine?
was called Gossip Game and your name is Gossip Viv? Did people like associate it with you being?
No, I don't think nobody. I didn't think that. It just happened to work in my favor. I tell people, and they get mad when I say, but I'm God's favorite. Things happen to align for me in my entire life, so it just worked out that way.
So did appearing on the Gossip Game for that one season on VH1, did that open other doors?
Yeah, it opened up the door to This Is 50 because 50's from Southside.
Yeah.
Let's
So
get
you
her.
went to This Is 50 right after that?
I went to This Is 50 not too long after that. Like maybe 6 months after the show ended, I got the call like, yo, you need to come up to This Is 50 and work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I really want to touch on with you is the decline of female rappers today. And
The decline?
I knew that you was gonna buck at that statement. I knew you was. I knew you was.
Because us females are so popping right now.
I wrote it down, and I just knew that you wasn't gonna accept the decline. But I got some footnotes.
Okay.
50 Cent did a interview about a week ago, and he was saying how a lot of the music that is put out by the female rappers today is not no good, and it's toxic to younger girls.
I can see that.
And things of that nature. And that's why I said the decline, because this isn't Queen Latifah saying, you and I, T.
Right, MC Light and all of them, yeah. MC Light was my favorite.
So
rapper.
can we agree that it's been a decline? If this is not MC Light, this is not Lauryn Hill, this is not Rod Digger, this is not Queen Latifah, what do we have today?
Well, if you're talking about the big mainstream rappers like Glorilla, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, you know, there's a lane for them. There's a lane for them. Not everybody is gonna be a Queen Latifah or MC Light. You know, you have your Cardi B's, then you have your Remy Ma's, and you know your Scarlett. Who else? Lady Luck. My girl, you got Young M.A. I mean, to me, Young M.A. and Lady Luck, lyricists.
Right.
Those you can't
But
touch
those
them
two
girls.
are
And Lady Luck is
MCs
good.
that would probably be classified as underground, in my opinion.
Young M.A. and Lady Luck?
Young M.A. had a moment.
She had a big moment.
She had a moment. Right?
Don't get me angry because I love Young M.A.
I enjoy her, some of her music too, but she had a moment. The chicks that are put out there with imagery that we see a lot of is what I would probably categorize as hypersexual type of content. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, but what sells? What is the most money-making thing?
I think good dope sells. And
this is not the crack era.
I'm just saying. Now I said that sometimes this hip hop game reminds me of the crack game. Like,
not everybody is Nas.
I feel that dope is dope, and there's MCs around this that didn't go that lane. That didn't say they flat out say it. My booty hole brown and I'm selling pussy.
Oh
and,
yeah, Sexy Red.
a bunch of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
there's a
and
lane
that
for that,
seems
though.
like that is what's being pushed upon the masses. Those are who become the most popular.
I mean, I guess. There's a lane for them. If there wasn't a lane, they wouldn't be doing so well. Sex sells. Can I just say being ignorant, and I hate to say this because I have my own kids and I have my daughters, being ignorant sells.
Right.
So if you want to tell somebody a booty hole, by all means, I'm pretty sure we all knew her booty hole was brown, but she's going to tell you,
Right.
I like Sexy Red.
But you wouldn't categorize it as a decline.
I wouldn't, no.
Booty hole brown,
I mean, is it not brown? Is it white? I don't know.
I mean, goddamn.
I mean, there's a lane for her. I don't know. There's a lane for everybody. You got your Nicki Minaj. Not everybody gonna be Nicki Minaj, Little Kim,
Yeah.
Foxy Brown.
Right.
You know, there's
Okay.
a lane.
Okay. If you were in your prime as Gossip Viv,
Oh, that was so many moons ago.
if you were in your prime still, we gonna get you back activated. But if you were in your prime,
There you
what do
go.
you think would be required of you during this whole Papoose Remy Ma thing?
Why would you ask me about them?
Because it's something that would probably have been covered.
Papoose and Remy.
Would you have passed that by
I would have.
on GossipViv.com?
I probably would have. And here's the reason why. Papoose don't like me.
Okay.
In real life, he don't like me. And he has no reason to not like me. But because of my issues with Steph Lover back in the day, and Remy is her friend, I'm not liked.
Right.
I feel, and it's just my opinion from what I see, and don't nobody care about my opinion, but I feel Remy played herself. She played herself.
Most
And
people-
Papoose don't even like me, and I'm saying that.
Right.
She played herself.
Most people feel that way. It's the business, but that's something that you probably would.
You don't agree with me on that.
What?
I saw that
What,
on your little...
Did she play herself?
Yeah, you feel like he played himself.
I think morally, she played herself because the perception of their relationship is that he did.
The bid with her.
Yeah, he did time with her. He was going. She said it herself in interviews that he would come so much that she would have to tell him, you ain't have to come this week, or because he was coming a lot. But the perception that people get is that he was supportive during her incarceration. I've been incarcerated before, and there's nothing more valuable than support during that time. You know what I'm saying? Like visually seeing somebody. There was times when somebody would send me money in a card. And I would be disappointed because they didn't write anything in the card.
For real?
You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to.
You wanted to read something.
I wanted to talk. I wanted correspondence. I wanted comfort, and it would just be a money order in there and shit. You see what I'm saying? So
It's still the thought.
True, but a person's presence is a lot more stimulating and fulfilling during incarceration. So I thought that it was incredibly admirable that he did that.
Right.
And you see, it didn't, I don't know, it didn't get him.
Nowhere.
It didn't. It got him embarrassed. I see a lot of people online trying to say, well, it's mostly women saying, well, he did this, he cheated first, and he made a baby. I don't have anything to support this type of shit, but I see it a lot. I was just wondering, had you still been doing your blogging, was that something that you would touch?
I wouldn't have. I wouldn't. Those, it's a married.
How do you pick and choose who you want to gossip about?
Easy. I go off of what I feel. That I wouldn't have touched.
Because it was marriage?
Not only because of marriage, because they don't like me. I ain't got time for that. I just feel like if somebody don't like me, and I don't have no reason not to like them,
Right.
but I ain't got time. They're not gonna get promoted on my site.
Right.
And they don't like me. I
You
don't
feel
like
that
them.
would be promotion?
Yeah,
By just the mention of it?
absolutely.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself returning to this thing that we call urban media?
I might. Me and Kim Osorio, my homegirl
Yeah.
from the Source magazine, have been in talks about some ideas. We'll see.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You abbreviated that, but okay.
We'll see.
The Diddy situation.
Mm.
That's something that's hot right now.
Diddy?
The thing with being in the position that I'm in this field you formerly dominated is that sometimes you have to cover content or stories on people that you might like, or you might.
I like Diddy.
Yeah. So would you had still been able to cover him, being as though that they saying that he's raping men and shit like that?
I heard that. But can I just say, even back in the early 2000s, they were saying that about Diddy.
Right.
Nobody reported on it. And I think actually Wendy Williams used to
She did.
report that and she got herself into a lot of problems with Diddy behind that. So this has been years and years of people saying that about Diddy. It is, they're making a big deal about it now.
Right.
But this is over 20-something years ago that they were saying stuff about Diddy.
Yeah.
And it's just now coming out. And then if you even said something about Diddy back in the day, you would get dealt with.
When you say dealt with, you mean physically dealt with?
Yeah, Diddy, y'all sleeping on Diddy. Y'all sleeping on Diddy would send people to go check you.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it himself.
Right.
He would send people to go check you, and that was a real life thing. Yes.
Damn. There's every week there's a new lawsuit.
With who?
With Diddy, he got, I think they said it's up to almost 100 lawsuits now. And the triggering lawsuit was the Cassie thing.
Oh yeah, that was disheartening to see that.
What did you think about that, the video footage?
It wasn't easy to see. I didn't like looking at it. I remember being in Cassie's presence when she used to deal with Ryan Leslie. She was dealing with Ryan Leslie first. Ryan Leslie, I know, maybe nowadays many people don't know who he is, but he is an extremely talented individual. He's a producer. He made his own albums. Just an overall smart, good dude. And she was with him first. And I do remember something happening. I wasn't really there, but I heard about it. And Diddy kind of took Cassie from Ryan.
Right.
And so that's how Cassie got her start. So, and I'm not saying this to downplay Cassie, because no man should be putting their hands on no females, but Cassie's a little tiny little thing.
Got it.
And Diddy shouldn't have done that at all. Not at all.
During your tenure, how long you feel that you've been, if you could put a number, amount on it, how long you feel that you've been in the business?
Like 25 years.
25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got a whole quarter. Of that 25 years, can you name your standout moments? If someone was to ask me, where did Gully TV take me, I would definitely tell them that I met Jesse Jackson, I met Shaquille O'Neal, and I interviewed Haitian Jack, and Skip to My Lou. Those are some of my highlights. Who are your highlight interviews or
My highlight
moments?
interviews, of course, is 50 Cent. Wyclef. I was presented an award for my work by the Reverend Al Sharpton. He presented it to me. I had a lot of good moments. Being on a show on VH1, I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
Back then, this is back then when reality shows were just starting to be like a thing.
Shape, yeah.
I would have never thought I would have been a part of that, but, that's it. And then working, getting to work with the people that I love and have relationships with, My cousin Star, he helped me a lot too. So working with Ange, Sharon, Mona, all of them.
I did the This Is 50.com show with DJ THRU, Heineken, and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like some years after that you started to fall back. Why did you decide to, hiatus or step away from urban media?
Because it's so grimy. It's so grimy, and people want you to have issues with everybody, and I ain't got it in me. I really don't. When I have a relationship, for instance, Angela Yee, Kim O'Sori, these are people that, are close to my heart. And it will always be well, try to see if you can get a job up there and I don't have it in me. What's for me, I always feel like it's for me, and God will make sure I get it. I don't have to be in competition with no woman to get what I know is for me. And so it's a lot of griminess, a lot of phoniness, there's a lot of people talking. I see people, I'm not saying no names, but I see people nowadays who wouldn't even want to be in certain individuals' presence who are now popping, and now they're everybody's best friends, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
So, it's not, that industry, I love it. It helped brand me and what I needed it to do, and then I fell back because it just became an ugly game for me.
Okay.
And I don't like ugly games.
I was told that you wrote a very, very interesting book.
Who told you that?
I came to accept him. I did.
Yeah.
I got my little network.
Who told you that?
Got my little network. I made a few
I
phone
wrote
calls.
that book.
Okay,
I
tell me
wrote
about the
that
book.
book. You know how people have an editor?
Yeah.
I wrote that book.
Okay. I came to accept him.
Yeah.
Give me the knowledge on the title.
Okay, so how I came to accept him is because my second child, who is now 31, was born a female and transitioned their lifestyle to become a man.
Got it.
And they did everything, now as an adult, they did everything that they needed to do to be and look like a man. So I'm not saying anything outside of that. But back then when I was doing VH1, my child was 17 and still in the stage of I don't know who I am or what I am. So Steph Lover kind of outed my child on a public platform such as VH1, and it was like a real difficult thing for me because I'm Muslim, so
Okay.
we don't believe in that stuff.
Right.
So I just was in a bad space, not wanting to accept it, but still I love my child. So it was just, the book is really just about me coping with that fact and how I deal with it and what my relationship is with my child. That's it.
All right. Because you mentioned it, and you mentioned it earlier.
What?
You mentioned that you and Papoose might have a disconnect because of Steph Lover, and then just now you just kind of gave me the reason.
Right.
Okay. Do you care to elaborate on the whole situation between you and Steph Lover?
That was so long ago, and the type of time I was on back then, I don't have that energy for her.
Okay.
No more. It was a situation, me and Steph were cool, always cool. I met Steph, we were doing an interview for Lil Jon back in the day. And we just became cool, and she would call me, and she had this show on DTF radio, and I would come and do the rumors for her show. And then when it came to the TV show, my cousin instigated something to her that wasn't true. And I felt like at the time, my friendship with her should have been much more important than someone who's going to instigate a reaction from you. And instead of saying, nah, I gotta call Viv, let me see if she did, she just went with it. And to me, because you went with it, then your friendship with me wasn't real. It was based off of a need that you wanted something from me, and this is how you really think of me, and that was the disconnect for me and her. And so at that particular point in time, I wanted to put every hand, foot, anything on her. I don't feel like that about her now. I don't even think about her. I really don't. But you're asking me about that time. So.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't trying to open any old wounds.
Yeah, no.
But you mentioned it, so I wanted a little bit of insight. You said that you stepped away because of this business being ugly, and I agree with you. I've had my conflicts. I've encountered some very, very spineless people. Very, it's a lot of evil associated with it.
Very much.
Was it always like that, or did it get worse once Instagram?
I think it got worse because there's so many. There's people. I want to say a story without having to say the individual, because see, back in the day, at least me, I can't speak for anybody else, I would really handle you. And so there was an individual, I'm not going to say his name, but he was very popular on a very popular reality show, and he still does reality show TV to this day. And he had an issue with something that I reported, and I was very respectful in the way that I reported it. And he took offense to it because it involved his child. But her mother reached out to me and asked me to do this story. And it became really bad. It became really bad to the point, like, he disrespected me. He tried his best to disrespect me in any way. And so I was told he was coming up to do a radio show. And I went up there. And I went up there with my nephews and their friends. And we were waiting for them. And he never came. Somebody told him we was there waiting for him.
Is there any chance that...
You can't do that now. You'll get arrested. Somebody's going to call the cops on you.
Yeah.
And we were ready. When I tell you,
I'm glad he didn't show up.
I'm glad too. I'm glad he didn't show up.
It's 2025. I interviewed on your platform. I remember many years ago emailing you and sending content to your platform to be posted on your platform. And I'm who I am now. And you got a chance to watch it. Have you ever felt like, man, I was at the top of this business? Do you ever feel that you want to come and reestablish yourself as a media personality?
No. I've been there, done that. And I conquered it. And
Yeah.
I walked away from it because I could. And nah, they doing too much now. I'm not on that type of time. Because can I curse?
Yeah.
I'll fuck you up.
It's Gully TV.
I will fuck you up now. So no.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Hip hop is everything. I know that it's tumultuous.
I know that you
sometimes.
love this.
I do.
I know, and I like to see that because there's such like a vibration with you when you talk about it.
Right.
Like a light emanates. You'll get tired of it one day.
You think so?
I don't know. I'm just saying it. For me, that's how
Right.
I was like,
I try to
bump this.
I try to profile people that I personally admire or feel that they're talented. You dig what I'm saying? And it generally doesn't have to be a hip hop musician. I interview people from all walks of life. I was forced to expand my reciprocals because everybody is doing it now. Everybody, the rappers, it's rappers that don't rap no more. They feel that they should be doing this. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that a lot.
And in order to make sure that I continue to carve out my own turf and my own space to operate, I choose to interview people who I feel personally have stories worth profiling. You don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be a rapper or nothing like that. I interview a fireman. You dig what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. But you in this interview was something that meant a lot to me because it's rare.
Yeah, I don't do interviews no more.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate you giving me a
I
shot.
don't do no
So,
interviews.
thanks a lot. I hope that this is worthy of your time.
It is
and
worthy.
I appreciate you. And if people want to contact you
Please don't.
on social media or something,
Please don't. I live a nice, quiet life now.
Somebody might have a check for you. You like
okay.
You like checks, don't you?
I do.
All right.
I do.
Somebody might have a check for you, and it might require you not being in front of the camera. You're a dot connector. So
I am.
How can people catch up with you hypothetically? Or,
Well, they could find me on Instagram, Gossip Viv, and that's it. TikTok, Gossip Viv, and I'm not even hardly on TikTok. Facebook is just for my personal friends and family, so
right.
I'm not giving that out. But yeah, Gossip Viv. I don't got no website. Just Instagram.
I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Oh, what up? It's your girl Gossip Viv, and you are checking out The Dribble with Gully TV. Or should I say